Hey everyone! Welcome back! I am back today with more Kamen Rider Saber. You guys, I am very excited to see more of this show. If you're joining me early today, you know just what it means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so much, and as always, I'm sending up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in the description down below. So I think we had a very strong start to Kamen Rider Saber last time. I was really on board. I had a feeling it was going to be very fun just from knowing like a tiny bit about the premise. Just knowing that it was going to be like fantasy oriented. I did not, however, guess that it was going to be so centered on like books and imagination, and like that just took me by surprise. And that's the awesome thing about Kamen Rider, I think, is like you can have a series that's about, you know, fruit, and that does not look anything like you would picture that in your head. Like they take that and they really make it their own. So it's not just, you know, okay, well, it's just going to be kind of one focus or the other. They have a really fun way of kind of combining different elements. Like, yes, it's going to be fantasy, but we're also going to be getting into some other stuff. And I know this is a little cheesy and momish of me, but honestly, I think it's really cool that they're encouraging reading in kids and you know, adults too. I think that's really fun, and I love the kind of whimsical tone of being able to dream up different worlds and different landscapes and everything. I really liked our main character, Toma. I thought he had a really cool style and was really fun, and just is very wholesome, and I liked watching him like interact with the kids and everything. And he also is a writer himself, so I think that fits in really well with the whole kind of book theme. And they really could have just had him own a bookstore, but I think it was cool that they actually made him an author, considering how the transformation of everything kind of looks on this series, where you're literally kind of like writing your own, and at least that's how it came off to me, like you're sort of writing your own story. And I also really love the suit. It's funny that I caught the little like hat reference with Shotaro a little bit from Double, and I don't think I said anything about the suit. Really like kind of having a little nod to Double in the way that it's like kind of two-toned. And you know, it's funny, even the library thing kind of it didn't look anything like Philip's library, but having the references to the library and everything, you know, I'll find a Double reference in just about anything, so that's just kind of me. But I'm really enjoying it so far. It's very fun, and oh my goodness, the ending theme, I'm so glad they have that now. It feels, and a lot of you are saying this to me too, it feels very, very Sentai esque, and I agree. And I did notice though, it's funny because I always think of Kamen Rider as kind of like the big sister show to Super Sentai. Like it's very similar, but maybe just for kids like a few years older primarily. And I found that the dance at the end was a little bit more complicated than like some Super Sentai dances that I've seen. I feel like the Sentai dances are like very like basic 1, 2, 3 kind of like moves kind of done over and over, and the dance they did was a little bit more, but I don't know, I'm still determined to try and learn it. Who's with me? Who's gonna learn the dance at the end? We have like 50 episodes. We can do this. So yeah, I'm on board. I'm really enjoying it. Can't wait to see where we're going. We kind of ended off with sort of meeting who I'm guessing is going to be our secondary rider / another main character at the end. So I'll look forward to seeing where that is going. So what do you say we go ahead and get started? Next episode. Let's go. All right, you guys, let's talk. We got so much coolness in that episode. So we're definitely getting more into like how the world works. I don't know if they had mentioned a lot of this in the previous episode. I know they had mentioned like the book that was lost or stolen or whatever. And it sounds like the villains are trying to recreate those books now. And when they finish a book, they can, they kind of like obtain control of that new world that they've created. So in this episode, we had like a town that was lost inside the book, and we couldn't let them finish the book, or else that town was going to be lost forever. So I'm still trying to like put it together, piece it together of how exactly it all works. I know that it's all books, like I'm on board with that. And I'm still just trying to like follow along every time they give me like a little info drop about, okay, this is what's happening here, that's what's happening there. I feel like we've gotten a lot of info just in 2 episodes. And it still feels like we're establishing a lot. So I imagine we're going to take a little time to like really build up and like focus on how the world works, considering that it's we're dealing with a lot of like abstract concepts and everything. It's not just like, okay, well, there's a monster and there's a guy on a motorcycle, and you know, we're definitely like, you can tell this one has a bit more of a mythos to it. Not that the other ones were just about monsters and motorcycles either. I mean, they all have like a good story built in, but I feel like this one is even more like they want to go a little bit more in depth with it. So I like that they're taking a few episodes to kind of like build that up. But even so, like, we're getting like a lot of info on just how everything works. I loved this one. I loved getting to know Rintaro a little bit better, and seeing his henshin and his suits and his fighting style. And I think it's really cool to have like a fire rider and a water one. Also, I really love the way that Toma's, so the suit is like split in half, right? And one side of it almost kind of looks blank. And we knew that there were like other slots on the belt and everything from last episode when he put the what is it called? Brave Dragon in the belt. So we got to see in this episode that he can actually use like other books in the other slots. And when he does, the other half, the kind of like more or less blank half, I think, of the suit will kind of take on characteristics of that book. So in this one, it was Jack and the Beanstalk, but he got, I think it's supposed to be Peter Pan. I don't know. Maybe they couldn't say Peter Pan. But Peter Fantasia. Now watch Peter Fantasia be like an actual book, and I'm gonna look really silly. But the little boy in the book, in the picture, looked like Peter Pan. So I'm going with Peter Pan. I love Peter Pan, so that's going to be very fun to see battle scenes inspired by Peter Pan, if that's the case. So we also got a new character at the end, but he's not new. Apparently they know each other, but Toma doesn't remember, which kind of lends more credence to this theory that a lot happened in Toma's past that he's not remembering, because he had another flashback of the little girl in this one. So clearly there are events in his past that have either been rewritten somehow, maybe by one of these books, or he has forgotten them somehow. So I'll be really curious to see where that's all going, and learn more about this new character who just flew in on a magic carpet. At least he didn't track with his shoes, right? That was kind of the point of the earlier lion scene. So very, very fun, guys. I'm really having a blast with, I think the effects look great. The suits look great. I'm loving the battle scenes. I'm enjoying getting to know the characters. We know Rintaro's got a little bit of a sweet tooth. That should be fun. Kind of calling back to Kamen Rider Brave from X-Aid, the way he had like his inexplicable sweet tooth. His was mostly cake, though, wasn't it? I feel like it was kind of mostly cake. And this looks like it's going to be various pastries. You know, eclairs, muffins. I'm sure we'll get some donuts up in here pretty soon. I'm on board with that. I can relate to that. So, guys, I'm really having a blast with this series so far. I'm excited to see where it's going. I hope you had fun watching it with me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please be sure to join me next time, and we will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.